Hello, everyone, and welcome to another wild and wonderful episode of Pep Talks with Megan De La Concha. I am your host, Megan, and I am so happy to be joining you here on this amazing platform so that we can come together and we can have these real, raw conversations based on confidence, resilience, empowerment, all fueled by you. I hope that these episodes are serving you in one way or another. If you have been listening for a while now, I just, of course, want to thank you from the bottom of my heart because it really, really does mean a lot to me. I mean, I'm the type of person that I would gladly have a conversation with the wall. But having you guys, knowing that you guys are on the other side, listening, hopefully having some aha moments, some takeaways. That is really what I am here for. I am here to serve you guys. And how I do that is just sharing my real time journey in this crazy, awesome, sometimes extremely frustrating world and journey that we are on. And hopefully to lend a helping voice. And a helping hand to let you know that you are not alone. I'm just talking about it, but we are all in this together. And if you are a new listener, welcome. I'm so, so excited that you are here. Drop in the comments how you found this episode. Anyone can comment if you are viewing this on YouTube on what you want to learn more about. What can I help you with? What are you struggling with right now? Like, what is your season of struggle? Because I guarantee you, you are not the only one. I'm probably going through it myself, or have just gone through it, or are going through it in the past, or you know what, might be coming up on that specific season, and would love to keep that in the back of my mind so I can just share my experiences. Can't talk experiences with you. So anyway, the gist of that is welcome and thank you so much, you guys. Your ears are much, much appreciated. So please, if you haven't already, subscribe, like, comment, and share. That is the best way that you can support me. So today, I just want to get right into it. I really am striving to keep these episodes 20 to 30 minutes long. That is another reshaping, revamping of season 3. And today's lesson is super important. It's actually something that you can take away and do as soon as you're done listening to this episode and start applying it to your life if you find that this is pertinent to what you're going through right now. And I want to make sure that I really hit home the point of what I'm trying to say. So today's topic is how I found my balance day to day. So if you're anything like me, which I'm sure most of you are, everything literally seems like a balancing act every single day. And I know that because we are humans and the way that our brains function and try to logically piece things together, we like to have control, we like to have peace and ease. We like for our days to go as smoothly as possible because we have so many things that are just rolling around, circling around within our day to day, whether it's your own personal stuff, whether it's managing your work, your own personal growth as far as fitness and things that you enjoy doing, your self-care, meeting up with friends, so relationships and friendships, date night, you have kids, you have pets, you travel for work. Your day is filled with so many things, right? And last episode we really talked about how to accept living within the confinements of today. So we're just going to build on top of that. It's been about a year since I have stepped fully into being an entrepreneur. And I want to say they need to really tell you that the first year is, is a year of training. It is all training. I basically am learning a whole different career, a whole different side of just business of being. I mean, it's insane all of the crazy aspects that go into building a business, and you want to learn it all right away because you want to do everything right away, but that's just not possible. It just takes time. It takes patience, it takes consistency, it takes commitment, it takes discipline, it takes perseverance, and it takes a strong sense of self and belief. And of course, my personal favorite and foundation of faith, straight up faith that this is where you're supposed to be. And I have to say, it has honestly taken me about a year to finally feel like I have a good flow in my day to day. And I've probably been practicing this specific routine where I've really hunkered down and I have set my work hours. You don't realize that, the excitement and the freedom of working for yourself and working from home, it can really, like, it's almost like you are a dog let out of the cage. I mean, I've been in a corporate job for 14 plus years where I have to clock in at a certain time, clock out at a certain time, salary or not. Your break is at a certain time. Everything is time, 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 right? And that's structure. So when you work for yourself, it's like, oh, heck yeah. It's like I can do laundry at 12 p.m. I can sit on the couch. I can be in my PJs. I don't even have to put makeup on. Like, this is absolutely amazing. And I encourage you, revel in that because it's amazing. And it's just like that sense of personal freedom that you're in control of. There is nothing like that. But I will say there is something about having the structure of having, setting, and abiding by work hours, especially if you're working from home. And it is different if you get up and you drive to an office, even if it's like your own personal space, like if you're renting out a networking space, or I know they have, I think it is called networking spaces, where you kind of rent like either by the day, or maybe you have a month package where you go and they have professional office spaces that can rent out either a private space or a group co-working space. That's what it is, not networking. You can network while you're there, but a co-working space. It's different when you actually have to get up. You got to bring your water, you got to bring your snacks, your lunch, money for lunch, whatever it is, but you're driving to a place. When you're at home, it is different because all of the distractions are there. You are at home. And so it's important to set your hours for business. And this also applies for those of you who are still working a 9 to 5 or whatever. As 9 to 5 is just, a general term. Those of you who are still working a job outside of your home. This is important too. Your hours are already set, so you're good there. But for those of you who are working from home, it is super important that obviously your work is of value to you, so that you set your work hours. Mine specifically are 10 to 4. How I came on this was a whole lot of trial and error. What I was trying to do every single day was something that we're all taught, and that is to list out your daily to-dos and list out everything, including your housework, including the grocery shopping, including the extracurricular, club pickups, baseball practice, include all your work stuff, include time for yourself, your lunch, literally schedule every moment that you're breathing. And then you go through and you prioritize what really needs to get done today. If there's a project that's due, if you have a deadline you have to meet. Obviously, if you have kids and your son or your daughter has after school activities, and they need, or sports, and they need a uniform to be washed, obviously it needs to be washed today. So let's do laundry, etc. The focus is on all of the to-dos. Like, what are all the things that we have to do today, that we have to get done today? That is how we focus our time. And it's supposed to be like a management piece on how we manage our time to make sure that we get everything done. But what happens is we're so focused on we're planning our days on what we need to do, that I don't care if it's color coded, I don't care if you've got stickies next to it, I don't care if it's on a calendar on your phone. It is still a bunch of stuff that is just feels like a heavy burden on our shoulders, and it's just pressure to get all of this stuff done. And then what happens? You end up getting all the things, hopefully, that you need to get done, and all the things that you want to get done probably don't make it during your day, right? So, what does that lead to? That leads to burnout. It leads to exhaustion. It leads to frustration. It leads to shorting out on an emotional scale. Your patience get shorted out. You start to kind of take things out on other people. You start to get down on yourself because you're not taking care of the things that you want to take care of. Now, of course, your day could be filled with everything you wanted to do, as far as, let's go get a massage, let's go get hair, let's go get nails, let's go get, let's go have happy hour, let's go have brunch on a Wednesday morning. Yeah, you could fill your day up with that, but is that productive to to moving that needle forward in your professional and in your personal development? Not really, but those things are important as well. So again, it's all about finding the balance. So my days consist of working from 10 to 4 every day. Of course, I totally surrender my day to God and whatever He wants me to do that day. But I do try my best. When I wake up in the morning, my intentions are to stick to those as my work hours. And then I give myself 2 days off, which are Sundays, which is obviously a day of rest. I go to church, I clean a little bit. Sometimes my husband has off, so we spend the time together. I spend it with the kids, guilt free, totally just in the moment, enjoying the day as it comes. And then I have Tuesdays off because those are my husband's set day off. And I want to make sure that we have that special time together. I mean, even if it's just running errands or sitting on the couch and watching a movie in the middle of the day, whatever it may be, I really dedicate that time to our relationship and to growing and to communicating and just making sure that you're watering and you're nurturing those relationships and they don't fall by the wayside. And I was having a really hard time at first, um, a whole year, an entire year, I'm not kidding, of trying to reset my work hours, trying to just work when I wanted to work, trying to work at nights, trying to get up like at 5 o'clock in the morning and work first thing in the morning. I was really trying to find my sweet spot, to find my balance. And I truly believe that really trying this and trying that, even though it was frustrating in the moment because I just wanted to have a good workflow, I just wanted to have a balance. The only way I could hit this sweet spot is by trying everything under the sun because this is new to me. And so the shift that I made to finally get this to work for me is I stopped focusing on a to-do list. And what I did was I made a list of what I valued, what was priority, and what was important to me, right? So I prioritized what the things of value, what they were to me, rather than what I quote unquote needed to do. And so instead of like the tasks. So for instance, or for example, what was important to me in my own growth? Well, number one, what was important to me was to be able to get my kids up on time, to make them a healthy breakfast, to not get them up on time to where we're all not rushing out the door, but where they can get ready for school. They can take their time eating. They might even be able to watch a show or play a little bit, get them to school, come home, and then spend time with my little one. I didn't want to come home and just rush right into the office and get on my computer. I wanted to actually come home. I wanted to, if I needed to put the dishes away, I wanted to get myself ready for the day. I wanted to enjoy a nice cup of hot coffee by myself. I wanted to make sure I got my devotionals done because that was of what was valued to me, especially my time with God. If I don't have that time, and it could be anywhere from an hour to 5 minutes, but if I don't have that time first thing in the day, I really feel the effects. So, what was of value to me each and every day was attending to my kids and making sure that they were taken care of, they were tended to. I had valuable time with them to get them situated, get them comfortable, to kind of fill their buckets of attention, of love, making sure they were good and they were set instead of just rushing off to check my emails. And what also was a value to me is obviously my devotionals, but also taking care of myself. It was important to me that I felt good during my day. So I would take the time to get dressed. I would actually do my hair. I would put on my makeup because that's all a part of preparing. I want to know that if somebody calls me and says, "Hey, I was supposed to do a Facebook Live. I'm supposed to do, I'm supposed to have a speaker for a summit, or I'm supposed to have a guest on my podcast, and they just dropped out on me last minute. Can you fill in? And by the way, it's videotaped." I want to say, absolutely, let's go, and not be like, oh my gosh, I have to hurry up and get ready. I literally have to have the mindset that I am physically going somewhere outside of these four walls of my house. That gets you into the mindset of, I'm preparing. I am the boss. I am the CEO. I have a purpose. I'm doing purposeful work, and I'm going to set out to have a productive day. So what I did was I prioritized what was of value to me in the morning. What are the things that I wanted to get done before I started my work day? And from getting up to coming home and getting those things done, it got me till about 10 o'clock. So I've been up since about 6:30, done my stuff for myself, done the stuff for my kids, and actually have been present in the moment with them because I don't have the pressure looming over me that I gotta work, I gotta go check my emails. Oh my gosh, it's already 9 o'clock. Da, 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 da. I don't have that pressure because my work starts at 10. And I do gently remind my kids, mommy has to work at 10, mommy has to work at 10. And it allows them to see and start to see, to see where my boundaries are. And it gets them into a routine as well. And during the day, what's also valuable to me? Well, eating, love to eat. I will not skip a meal. So eating lunch is important to me, and not eating at my desk. I learned that I had a professor who was super, and when I was getting my graduate's degree, he was super, what do I want to say? He believed very much that you should not eat where you work because it creates a mess. And he was all about like environment and having it being uncluttered for a productive day. And if you're eating there, you're getting oil from your salad. You're getting stuff all over the place. Your posture is bad. And we all know like you shouldn't eat when you're watching TV. You want to practice mindful eating. So for me, taking an actual break, stepping away from the office, stepping away from my laptop, stepping away from my phone, and making myself a nice healthy lunch that wasn't rushed. That was important to me. And putting in a little bit of time for reading, because one of my personal development goals has been to start reading more books. I have all of these amazing books that are on my bookshelf that I've either gotten to like page 12 and I dog-eared the page and I put it back and now it's all dusty. Or there's books that I haven't even cracked open, but these are amazing books that have been highly recommended that I know are going to make such a difference in my life. So what was important to me was to really start incorporate reading into my daily routine. But before I tried to read in the morning, very early in the morning, or I would try to read at night, what's going to happen? I would always fall asleep. If it was in the morning, I would fall back asleep, or I was just too tired to even like comprehend what it was that I was reading. And then at night, obviously, I'm exhausted. I got tired of reading the same paragraph over and over and over again, so I just shelved it. My most productive time is in the mornings. That is where my brain is fully awake. I know that I'm at my most creative. I know that I have my most energy during that time. So reading to me and picking a time during the morning, early afternoon to actually read a book for leisure. And it doesn't matter if it was a self-help book, if it was fiction, nonfiction, or research, whatever it was, I would choose it because I had the desire to read this specific book. So I would carve out time for my lunch and I would carve out time for my reading. And I would carve out about an hour because I can really get into reading. So instead of saying, well, I could really take that time from 2 to 3 and really get this done and this done and this done, whatever quote unquote work needed to be done for the business, like money making work, I placed the same exact value that I would on the actual money making stuff as I do on the personal development stuff, because I feel that it goes hand in hand. So I would carve out an hour for reading time just to myself. I would go sit on the couch, make a hot cup of tea, and I would just indulge in my reading time because that was valuable to me. And it's what I needed and what I wanted to do in order to facilitate personal growth, that I can grow a little bit every day. And it's also working towards my goal. If I have a goal of reading books, but I don't set an action plan behind it, I'm never going to read any more books. I might start them, but I'm never going to finish them. Story of my freaking life, right? And so this helps you practice awareness. It helps you practice commitment and discipline. And I actually pay attention to what I'm reading. I'm not sitting there daydreaming about what am I going to do when this hour is over? This is what I'm going to. No, I do not project myself into the future. I stay in the present because I know, again, it is all part of the work that you are doing. The work does not mean you're just sitting in front of a laptop, pounding out emails, creating content, getting on phone calls with clients. The work is so far beyond that, and you have to accept it as a whole. And taking the time for your own development and taking the time for your own self-care, including taking care of your children so you feel like a good mom. You know, you're not in your office going, oh my god, he keeps calling my name and I know he wants me to play with him, but I have to work, I have to work, I have to do this. No, you do not. You can take time. 15 minutes of playtime with your kid is like 2 hours to them. It means the world. And then you feel really good about it too. So you're less apt to feel guilty, to feel ashamed, because when you are working on your business and you're surrounded by those feelings, do you think you're going to put out good work? Absolutely not. Not at all. You want to sit down at your desk wherever you are and you want to be fully in the present and you want to be focused and have clarity and have perspective and have the energy to do the task that is in front of you, because your output is going to be reflective of what your input is. And that's the internal input. If I'm creating a confidence course and I'm sitting here badgering myself about how I never get anything done, about how I never finish my goal of reading a book, I can't even do that, how I never spend time with my kid, he's just always watching TV, or he's always playing on my phone, or this, that, and the other. If I'm constantly talking to myself negatively and I'm creating a confidence course, does that even make sense? Do you like, if you knew that, hey, I created this course and this is what I was feeling, is that going to be something that you're going to want to invest in? Absolutely not. I want to feel my absolute best in the moment, with focus, with clarity, with intention. And this is how you do it: is you live your day and you prioritize your day and you find balance in your day by starting to recognize and identify what is of value to you, what makes today great for you. And it's not just checking off boxes. We have to get away from just the palpable, the tangible pen and paper where you just check off a box. It has to have meaning. It has to have value. It has to have purpose to you. It has to make a difference in how you feel. I have realized that taking that hour and reading has given me the energy I need to sustain me through my afternoon. I realize that taking the time out to mindfully eat it gives me that really like different energy type of feeling to where when I come back to what I'm working on, my perspective is new and it's different and it's clearer and it's brighter. And that serves me, which in return serves you, my audience, my clients, my family. When my husband comes home from a long day, when I pick up my son from school and they get home and they're fighting and they're wrestling and they're complaining about dinner, I am able to manage my emotions better instead of just snapping at them and lashing out at them and, losing my patience, because I'm at peace, because I feel good about what I have done during the day. And it's not everything I accomplish, it's because I got done the things that I needed and wanted to get done in a smooth way. And sometimes it's not smooth. Trust me, I am 22 weeks pregnant at the time of this recording, and there are some days where I am so winded or I am so tired that I know I'm not going to put out any good work. So I allow myself a day of rest, even if it's not my day off, and I don't worry about it. Because me trying to push myself and cram everything that into a day that I know I don't have the energy for, that I know I don't have the capacity for that day, it just ends up rolling into a big ball of frustration, of anger, of confusion, of overwhelm. It leads to tears. It leads to me yelling. It leads to me projecting onto people because I didn't do what was valuable to me. And maybe on that specific day, rest was valuable to me. It was the best thing for me, which in return is the best thing for my family. It's the best thing for my business, right? Trying to hustle and grind like today's society defines it is not the answer. We have to get away from that narrative. And the other thing that was important to me is I wanted to end my day so that I could go pick up my kid from school. And that when we got home, I was able to do homework with him. I was able to prepare a dinner with him. If I needed to go to the grocery store, I could do that with peace and ease, knowing that my day was over. The laptop was shut, my emails were off, that my notebook was closed, right? Closed sign on the office door. And then I could have the rest of my night to give them my undivided attention. And I'm not saying I was in the room playing with them, but that I was there for them when they needed me. I was able to relax. We were able to watch a movie together. I was able to get my kid to practice. I was able to just to be there as a mom at the end of the day. And that's also was peaceful for myself because then I had time to really kind of just unwind and do what it was that I needed to do. Catch up on a favorite show of mine, watch a couple episodes, take a hot shower, and before I went to bed and had a good night's sleep. Now I understand that not everybody works for themselves, but when you have time in the mornings, because you do, or depending on your hours, wherever you have time, whether if your free time is really only truly just your day off, I get it. I get, in the health field, I come from the health field. You're working 10 to 12-hour days plus. So you really don't have a lot of time in the morning and you really don't have a lot of time in the evening. And then you have all these other priorities that are jumping out at you. To make yourself feel like you are not going crazy and that you're just standing there trying to not drop all of the plates, I really encourage you today to make a list of what adds value to your day. What makes your day feel good and successful? And I'm not saying just in terms of work. I'm saying when you come home at the end of the day and you lay your head on that pillow or you're sitting on the couch, what did you do that made you feel, I feel really good about that? Is it attending that spin class or that yoga class you've been wanting to go to? Is it taking a walk around the park? Is it reading? Is it doing meditation? It doesn't have to be an hour-long thing. You can start small. Little by little, a little becomes a lot. But when you start to fill your day with the things that are of value to you, and obviously your work is of value to you because it does pay the bills. But when you fill your day not just with I'm ticking off a list and things that make you feel really, really good deep down inside, you are honoring your identity. You are honoring that person who you truly are, not the role that you're playing. And you end up feeling really, really good about yourself, about your day. And then guess what? That just ripples out into your friends, into your coworkers, into your family. And it really gives you an amazing sense of peace, even if your day is super chaotic. It can still be chaotic, it can still have struggle in it. That doesn't go away. But when you focus on the value of your day and the things that bring value into your life, that's when you find the balance. If you want more information, get on my email list and send me back an email. I do respond. I am happy to help you and be there for you if you need extra help in building your daily habits and routines. That's all a part of my new 8-week personal empowerment program called Ashes to Grace, building the foundations of unstoppable confidence and unshakable resilience. Get on my email list by clicking my website that's in the link in my Instagram bio at Megan De La Concha, so you can get on my email list and you will not miss the first chance to get in on this with me. I will be your personal coach. I will help walk you through hand in hand every single step of the way. Thank you so much for tuning in, for listening. Remember to like, comment, share with a friend. And if you end up doing this at home, I want you to get on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, and I want you to tell me what brings value to your day. I hope you all have a wonderful, amazing, and empowering week. I will catch you next time.